Corel has just launched their brand new version of PaintShop Photo Pro X3. And in this short review, I'll be taking a quick overview of what's new and some of the new features. To start with, when you first launch the application, you're presented with a brand new organizer. Now this will help you manage those digital files. This organizer has some very useful features, although it's no replacement for a photo organizer application such as Portfolio or ACDC3. We can go onto the computer here, and in the usual Windows hierarchy system we can just browse for folders, and I just happen to know that in my L drive somewhere along here in this folder here and down below here I have some pictures of mountains, etc. And there we have them. So this isn't a terribly efficient way of working. A better way to work would be to create a collections. So if I wanted to work on pictures of mountains, I would add this to a collection. So let's go into the next tab, which is collections. And now I can browse for folders, and here we see all the folders. These have all been added to collections. So if I'm working on a project, all my folders are instantly available, and I can also browse for more folders, etc. So we just go onto the usual Windows hierarchy system and browse for different folders in there. So if we find the mountains one, I just happen to know it was on my scratch disk and it was in photos, I think it was 2, and let's click on there and we'll add this one to there we go, mountains. OK, and now mountains has been added to my collection. So therefore I can actually, next time I start this application, I can browse very quickly for mountains. By default, thumbnails are displayed in the main window, and we can zoom in and we can zoom out on these to display more thumbnails. Another way to view would be as a film strip mode, and we can click on this preview mode here and we can just see all our pictures as film strips, and again we just click on there and we see it instantly in the main preview window. And we also have metadata on here. So let's go back into thumbnail mode. Another way to work very quickly with pictures is to create tags for them. So I may want to create tags on mountains for this. So if I have mountains in several different folders, I can create a tag for it. And tags are these things down below here. Now, I've already generated a few tags, and one of them happens to be birds. So we click on that and the bird pictures are instantly available for me. If I want to add more birds to this, I click on a folder which contains some birds. And let's just check this picture, this one, and we'll add these two. So we simply just click on the pictures and drag them and drop them onto birds. And now when we click on the birds again, we have the two pictures added to our collections there. Another way is if we do a search, we can also add these to smart collections. So all these here are actually searches. So I may have searched for llamas at one stage, and these have been added as a smart collection. So that's another way to find your files. Another new feature with Corel's PaintShop Photo Pro X3 is the Express Lab. So let's take a look at that, and we'll go into sample pictures here and we're going to go to Express Lab. Now the Express Lab is basically a cut down version of the full PaintShop Photo Pro. At the base we have all the usual basic tools, and by default we're presented with the Smart Photo Fix, so we can just click on this and ask it to suggest some settings. It's corrected it more or less here. Color balance is perhaps not quite right, but a simple click on a gray area should actually fix that, and it has done. And we can increase the brightness just a fraction there, and there we go, that's fine. Other features available are the color balance. If we feel it's still a bit too warm, we can actually then go to a slightly cooler setting, and there we go, that's fine. Okay, so now when we exit the Express Lab, the original photograph is auto saved for us. So the original image which we started out with has been placed in a separate subfolder now. So if at a later stage I want to go and re-edit that picture, I can work on the original again. So we'll say yes, we'll accept that. And now all the corrections have been applied to the image. And if you look on the bottom left hand corner here, we can see that this image has been altered and all the settings have been saved. And basically what happens is when you make any adjustments to an image, a script is automatically generated for you. Now this is quite useful because we can now click on the image and we can click on the top here and capture the editing. So I've clicked on there, or we can right click on there and capture editing. Now we can highlight another picture, or several pictures in fact, and now we can either click on there to apply the editing, or we can right click on the picture and apply the editing. And we'll say OK to this. Now what's happened is all the adjustments I've made on this image are going to be applied to any images that I've selected. Basically it's running the script on the images, and we'll say OK to that, and there we have it. This is ideal if you've got a large collection of photographs. Maybe you've done a studio setting and you want to do corrections to all the images, so you could just do it to one image, capture the settings, and then apply them to other settings. Of course there's more to Corel's PaintShop Photo Pro than the Express Lab and the Organizer. We've got the full editor. So now to get to the full editor, we can just click on a picture that we want to edit, and then we'll just click on the full editor. And here we have Corel's PaintShop Photo Pro interface. And on the left hand side we have a learning center, and depending on which tool you select, there'll be a context sensitive learning center which will give you hints and tips on how to use that particular tool. Once you become fully familiar with the interface, you can just shut this down altogether, but it can be brought back up again from the help menu or pressing the F10 key. A really nice feature with this new version is also the media tray, which has been available on previous versions before, and if we press Shift and F9 we can see the media tray. Now I'll just go back to Organizer because I want to add some pictures to the media tray. So let's go back to the Organizer, and I'm just going to select several pictures and just add these to the media tray. So we just right click on that, select down the below here, add to media tray. And now if we go back to the full editor again, we see all the pictures have been added to the media tray. So now if I want to edit any of these pictures, I can just drag and drop the picture onto the workspace there. So let's have a look at a couple of new features. And one of the nice features is a new object extractor. So we'll go to Image and select Object Extractor. And now we can select a brush tool, the green brush tool, and just paint around the outline of the object you want to extract. And I'm just going to do this very roughly, and I'm using a Wacom tablet here, and this just shows you how quick you can do an extraction of your object. And there we go, and just around there again. And now I can just paint in, because I want this hair to be visible as well. So I'm just going to go around there, making sure that I've got all the strands of hair, and that's fine. Make sure that it's fully enclosed all the way around. Now we'll select the fill tool and just fill the image area, and we'll process the image. Depending on the speed of your computer, this will just take a few seconds. And now we can hide the mask, and we can see all the hair has been delicately cut out. So we'll click OK on that. Of course we want to do something with the picture once you've cut it out, so let's bring another image in from the media tray, highlight the first picture again, grab the thumbnail and just drag and drop it onto our picture there. And now you can see just how well the cutout has been executed. And you can see all the hair, all the delicate hair, all the in between the strands of hair, and that's done a pretty good job. And that was the object extractor.